Hello and welcome everybody to Europa Universalis IV Common Sense. This expansion came out on June 9th, 2015, and I'm just gonna go through a few of the little features that this massive expansion has, and perhaps even some free features that the patch, which even received the name Charlie because it's so big, also includes. Alright, so first of all we have a little update to the theocracies, and these are all theocracies except this papal state basically, and what you can do is just choose your heir, and there are many options. Each option gives you some bonuses and some negatives. It really depends, and you don't know the skill level that your heir is going to have. You just choose, and it really depends on your strategic situation and how you want to play. If we continue on the path of theocracies, there's also a new little feature called devotion, and this is basically like Republican tradition for republics. Gives you some nice bonuses if you're high up, and it really depends on your religious unity and some other things which I'm not too sure about. New little neat addition as well, there are lots of little neat additions, is the government rank, which I think is a free feature for everyone. I'm not too sure, I'll check on that later. But basically you can go from a duchy to a kingdom, and then from kingdom to empire, and these cost points, I do believe, your admin and other things. And of course, obviously, the most important feature of all, which is kind of suggested by the title of the expansion, is Parliament. You know, Common Sense, the House of Commons. Basically, England is one of the few at this point that can really have that. You open it up, and you have these provinces which have seats in Parliament, and England only has 4 to begin with, but you can assign really any province to have a seat. It kind of costs you some stability, so if you really dislike stability, you can go and raise that up, but you know, also gives you nice bonuses, so perhaps it's something to do if you have a good republic like Switzerland. Anyway, having these seats also cost money, because if you start a debate, you know, here I can choose a debate, and I think a debate you can only start every 25 years or every 10 years. It will continue for at least 10 years, and failing at that debate will cost us negative 20 prestige. And there are a number of issues we can really choose from. Let's say I choose expand the army here. Now each seat will want something to be able to support me. Right now, the chance of winning or the chance of ending is 0. The thing just started off here. Let's speed it up just to check. Okay, alright. So we can spend some power on Kent because they want some diplomatic support. That will raise our chances to 37%. We can also ignore corruption here for a whooping 1 inflation, which is extremely expensive early on since we don't have inflation control. But let's say we're already at 75%. That also means we can still lose there, and that's 100% military support. We use some military power, but you see the deal, right? We can give even more seats. Let's say I make Northumberland a seat, give them a seat here, and now it's down at 90%. So the more seats you have, the harder it is going to get, and the more you'll have to spend. But then again, you also get more income, so you can oh, too few seats. Right. How's that even? I have no idea. Maybe assigned automatically. You know what? Let's give Lincoln. I don't know how many are there. I think that's a good size there apparently. So it just suggests, and we can bribe and ignore. There's lots of different options, but you see the gist of it, right? Another feature, continuing here in Denmark, is you can now dismiss advisors. If you're not happy with the ones that arrived or that are living in your country and you can't be bothered to wait, you can spend the money that it would cost to hire them. Oh, my friends list. I keep forgetting to close that. You can spend the money that it would cost to hire them to fire them, right? So 16 ducats, boom. There. Is there any level 2 anywhere there? 64, that's going to cost me 64 ducats to fire him, and so on and so forth. So yeah, that's a pretty good feature for someone who has a lot of money and is looking for just the right advisor. So as part of the, not just the expansion, but the whole Charlie update, we, instead of having fortresses everywhere, you know, but you go ahead and you'd generally build your upgrades. Where are the buildings? Oh my god, there we go. You choose for perhaps, you know, our fortress and build it anywhere. You'd normally try to place it everywhere, right? At least a level 1. Now that's not really the case, because you see, fortresses actually cost money per turn, and just marching in through a normal province makes it quite easy to capture. And there's also a loot mechanic involved here. You'll see there's a 17% or 17 ducats worth of loot in this province, and depending on your army composition and size, you'll be able to loot provinces, which makes it a really nice game for the Golden Horde, or the Hordes in general. We'll see how that works out. Maybe I should do a let's play of that, but definitely, you know, cavalry, etc. However, fortresses will protect the province, but will cost a certain amount of money per turn, and I don't know if it's this applies in early game for level 1 fortresses, but I do know that the higher your fortress level, the more expensive it's going to be per month. You'll see that this Toulouse here doesn't have a fortress, 0 garrison, 0 costs basically. But yes, and then you can upgrade as you go along. Also, it also means that sure, you can occupy all the other provinces, but as long as you don't take a fortress, you don't really show the enemy that you're able to capture any provinces in this area. For example, and this the developers showed off in a live stream on Twitch, the British, they have a fortress in Le Bourg, and I believe in there in Normandy and Calais. So, if I take a fortress, or if I take Gascogne, which doesn't have a garrison, okay, sure, I might be able to try to make a peace deal just for Gascogne. But if I take La Bourg, I'm showing England that I'm able to capture anything within the continent, or within my near vicinity, right, in this area. However, I cannot really ask for any provinces on their mainland here in England, Maine, because I haven't shown that I'm able to take down a fortress or take a province outside of my general vicinity. And this is really important, because now it's going to be much harder for example, continental powers like France to just suddenly see them expand into England or overseas, maybe even Finland. The AI is going to be a lot more realistic, perhaps, in its expansion, and the wars are going to be a lot tougher. You know, if you really want to cross this, you're going to have to beat the British Navy, or the English Navy in this case. There's also a feature added to the Holy Roman Empire, which I can't show off right now, because you need to have one unified Holy Roman Empire faith and religion. But that's basically, I can go to the electors and I can remove them as electors, and of course they get kind of pissed, but there's that, you know, instead of, you can take away a number of electors, and other people or other electors will be angry at that happening. I don't know how balanced that is, but it's a thing. Another additional feature is the growth feature, and here actually what you do is you spend either military diplomatic or administrative power to expand your provinces. So instead of building a massive empire that stretches from the coast of Portugal all the way to Russia and having, you know, your cities just develop naturally, what you can do now, of course you could build your buildings in different places before, but what you can do now is that each city, each area is kind of limited in how much it can expand by development. So what you can do is, for example, here in Bern, you see there are no possible buildings that can be built. Okay, well, that's unfortunate. However, if I spend some power to get to 20 development, I can increase base tax with admin power. I can increase production with diplomatic power, or I can increase manpower with military power. Basic stuff. However, this also increases the development of a province. So I'm gonna spend some admin power, make Bern a rich city. We're gonna go there, and you see the city grows by itself. This is really cool. So I'm gonna I've cheated my way to. Oh, there we just passed 20 development right here, and we are now have another slot available to build. Unfortunately, I also believe that let's just cheat here. Boom, boom. Admin, military. Yep. Right. So if I go in here, for example, now you'll see that I have a fortress. Oh, of course, cash. There. Now I can build these things, and I could build the other things as soon as I unlock them. But what happens is, once I've built that, it's there, right? I have to be very careful with what kind of buildings I choose. However, it's not like, okay, I build a temple and then I can't build a cathedral. Yes, you can build a cathedral. It's gonna replace the temple's modifiers, though. And it's gonna take its slot. However, if I can't just build everything here. But it's gonna be a very strategic thing, and if you want to build your little free cities, or your little smaller country into a super massive, well-defended, oiled machine, you can do that. You know, you can make just take over Ireland and make it really massive and powerful in terms of making them big cities. Of course, this will all depend on, you know, if you're steering trade properly. It depends on the kind of game you're playing, but it's there. Growth determines what you can build, when you can build it. That's basically what I had to say, right? Buddhists now also have a feature called Karma, which basically works like... well, I don't really have any comparison. I haven't really played around with religions too much recently. However, if you have a high karma, your leader has a high karma, you gain oh wait, yes, no. Am I? Ah, yes. Your diplomatic reputation goes down by -2, so people don't really take you seriously. If you go beneath 50 or -50 karma, so low karma, your discipline, your military discipline will go down by 10% because people will be afraid of you, basically. And there's also the so if you stay in the middle, that's where it's good, because you'll have a bonus of +5% discipline and +1% or +1 diplomatic reputation. So really nice bonuses. On top of that, there's also Buddhism has actually now been split up into 3 different branches, which is a lot more realistic, and I thank Paradox for doing that. I like when we get more variation of cultures and religions to play around with. And we have I'm sorry for butchering this, oh my god, Mahayana, where is it? Theravada, and the Vajrayana. So each one of these has a different bonus. The Mahayana, for example, have a tolerance of heretics and a tolerance of heathens, which makes them really good for interacting with all the other people and generally converting. No, I'm not sure, but I don't see. I'm not very good at the whole religious thing. I'm just good at having a nice religious unity. The Theravada have a nice tolerance of heretics and a lower advisor cost, which is also pretty good. Kind of focuses internally, but also partially external. And whilst the Vajrayana have also a tolerance of heretics, but a little bit lower than the others, and a large bonus to the morale of armies, which makes them really good at just conquering people. Also, something I did forget to mention is that the development cost, the cost of developing a province, depends on its terrain, its buildings, its previous development, and kind of its situation, you know. Countries now also have the option of returning cores or returning provinces. Just by clicking in the little menu thing here. We just go, click return province, lose some prestige, they get a bonus, and voila, Gascon. We're gonna do the same here. No one's gonna like us. So there's one country, there's another. We're gonna avoid the whole 10 years or 100 years war thing, and voila. You cannot do this when you're at war though, unfortunately. But it's a pretty cool feature, so yes. Another addition to the Holy Roman Empire is the ability for the Emperor to grant the free city status, and it is an awesome feature. Although at the moment there are quite a number of free cities. You see all the white flags here, and you can only do this with one province minors. And mostly republics, I do believe that states that are already republics, unless you have a very high opinion of them. So I could bestow imperial grace and then do some other things, but it basically makes them give you lots of money, manpower, and things. It also gives the free city a nice bonus, so they can grow very, very tall. However, as soon as they conquer a second province and keep it, then they stop being a free city. So, it basically means that as the Emperor, you want as many free cities as possible. If that's at least what I'm imagining. So you want to cut down everyone to size except yourself and make them extremely loyal to you, and voila, you can basically unite the whole place under your imperial flag. You can pause westernization. So westernization takes quite a big toll on your country, you know. It's taking lots of admin power, it's destabilizing your nation. Maybe you need that admin power, so pausing westernization and will still keep that rebellion going, but will start giving you admin power back. And probably one of my favorites right now is the addition of subject interactions. This, you basically, okay, so you can enable the support of loyalists. Will you know, lower the liberty desire in our vassals. We can also embargo the rivals. Do some cool things here. Scutage is pretty cool. You can get lots of money, but it will stop them from joining your wars. So, you know, nice features to have. You can also, the main interactions here are, for example, you can also enforce religion, you can enforce culture. This all really depends. Let's see, add dip and mill. Yeah, I think they have to be below liberty desire there. But we can, for example, force our culture onto Norway right now. I'm gonna do that, and what happens is basically that the Norwegian government becomes Danish, not the provinces themselves. That's a whole other step. but you know, it's gonna happen. It's gonna work towards that goal. What else? Siphon income. You can basically steal their money, and they'll start hating you for it. But you know, you could always do that, especially if they're a small but very rich country. You might want to do that, or if you're vassalizing someone just for a short amount of time and you're just trying to take as much out of them as possible. Again, embargo rivals or scuddage. You could also placate local rulers in vassals. You can place a relative on the throne if they have a regency. You could also enforce religion here as well, but we can't really show that off in this case. Ooh, here's an example of protectorates and colonies. Let's see, we can go back and customize our subjects to change to the name of our colonial nation. We can placate local rulers by, you know, lower their liberty desire, basically. We can force our colonial nation to start a colonial war against someone else. Awesome. And we can increase tariffs, of course. We can divert trade from protectorates, seize territory. Now that is quite something, especially if your protectorate is quite small. Nice way to expand. We can send officers to it will increase the cost of us. What? Oh, whatever. It will lower their liberty desire, and it will increase their morale of armies and their discipline. Yes, and many other things. Oh, another thing that only comes in this expansion. If you do not have Res Publica, but you happen to buy Common Sense, you will also get the National Focus feature here, so you can focus your diplomatic or your points where you're going to be taking away points and focusing your bulk of development on. So that's now available with just Common Sense. You could also just buy Res Publica and get that, but you know, it's available in both expansions. Yes, I have got some bad news for you people who thought that Protestants already were a little bit overpowered. I don't really think that's the case, but now we have the additional feature of having the aspects of the faith. So now you gather up church power, and it takes a long time, okay? So be very careful with what you choose. If you're a Protestant, or I think Reformed, the Reformed faith also has this, you go and you can basically choose a bonus. Just free bonus to your religion. You basically create your own church, since the church isn't directly connected to the Pope and he doesn't decide everything. The king is the head of the church, and therefore you as the king get to choose what your church is gonna be like, just as the English Protestant church, or well, they're a little bit of a special case, the Anglican church, but whatever. Let's just say you want stability costs to go down, you choose that. You want to allow ushery, production efficiency goes up. Anything that really helps you out. We're just gonna choose some random things here. Priest may marry, cool, sweet, very Swedish. What else? Actually, no, let's increase our church power to max there. Adult baptism, awesome if you're gonna convert stuff. What else? Can I not? Oh, that's all. Oh, even better. You can spend 100 church power to remove something, I think. Yes? Boom. Alright, no, you don't spend anything. You just throw it away. You have the church power, you select something new. However, yes. Yeah, I think that's it. I mean, it's a kind of... It's a good mechanic, but I'm not sure that the Catholics have anything that makes it as good, so to speak. Oh, and by the way, Common Sense comes, of course, with tens, maybe even hundreds of new events for theocracies, parliaments, everything related to the game, and Protestants, of course, and Buddhists, since that's the focus of the expansion. But there's also the free update that has brought in a number of different updates to everyone who owns the base game or whatever version of the game, including the way that fortresses work that I talked about, and many other things. So please, if you do love Europa Universalis 4 and you have some other expansions, this is definitely one to check out. Even if you don't have any other expansion, I think that if you're gonna get an expansion, try this one first, because this one's definitely worth it. It's really big, it's very nice. I'm gonna definitely be playing it after I come back from vacation. Like what you see, leave a like, obviously. You can also favorite the video, leave a comment below, and if you want to go the extra mile, well, actually wait. No, first of all, subscribe if you haven't. Why aren't you a subscriber? Yes. Anyway, if you want to go the extra mile, you can always go over to my Patreon page or go to my PayPal account and donate some money. The Patreon page is quite special because there you're actually paying a monthly fee of your choice, and I might change that to a content fee since I'm not pumping out as many videos as I used to. But in any case, you'll also see the kind of achievements that I can get, and sooner or later I will start adding some rewards for those who do become Patreons on the channel. Anyway, that's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, guys and girls, and I'll see you later. Farewell.